Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kevin Galetz, and I'm a program facilitator working with the Regina District Industry Education Council in the SunWest School Division. Today it's my pleasure to introduce Jason McMaster, who is the head equipment manager with the Winnipeg Jets of the NHL. Jason grew up in Plenty Dawsland area and went to school in Plenty, Saskatchewan before beginning his journey to Winnipeg. During his presentation, we'll learn what the occupation entails and how a kid from small town Saskatchewan got to where he is today. Just a reminder before we begin, this session is being recorded and will appear on the RDIEC YouTube channel for you or others to view in the future. Just go to the RDIEC website at www.rdiec.ca to find the YouTube channel. Thanks for taking time to do this session today, Jason. I understand the Jets have a game tonight, so I know that you're a busy man, and I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, Kevin. Well, thanks for having me. My pleasure to be here and to share the ins and outs of the equipment management profession and as it pertains to the game of hockey. So as Kevin said, I am the head equipment manager with the Winnipeg Jets here in Winnipeg. We work out of two facilities, the Canada Life Center, which is our game facility. And then we also have the Hockey for All Center, which is a fourplex west of town here, where we're at when anytime there's a Moose afternoon game or concerts or any other events that take over the building here at the Canada Life Center. So very brief job description. So I manage our entire staff on the equipment end. We have three full-time equipment managers, myself, Mark Grehan, and Robert Cook. We have an equipment transfer and Sam Jarin. He takes care of the visiting teams when they're in town, and also works for us when he's not with the visiting teams. On game nights, we also have 2 game night attendants on the home side and 3 game attendants on the visiting side. I order all the equipment, apparel, jerseys, you name it. If it's for the players or staff, I likely ordered it. Spent a lot of time managing my budgets and inventory. Inventory management is a big aspect in this job now. I still am involved in sharpening and profiling the skates. I split that with my coworker Mark Grehan. Equipment repairs, I don't do a lot of that anymore. That's more Mark and Robert who handle that. Some days they have to kick me off the sewing machine because it's nice to get on there and make equipment alterations for guys. Those are the kind of things that we love to do as equipment managers. Work with players on equipment specs, whether the sticks or skates aren't feeling right and they want to make a spec change. I work with the manufacturers and the reps to facilitate transition of getting those specs modified and shipped in. Anytime there is a dressing room complex improvement or renovation, I am heavily involved. As far as sometimes we have project managers, sometimes I'm the project manager, depending on the scope of the project. Travel logistics for getting equipment from A to B to C on the road and home and anywhere else it needs to be. So to obtain skills, on-the-job experience is the #1 way to get experience in this job. There is skate sharpening training out in Ontario. I've taken the course 3 different times actually, because I'm very passionate about the sharpening aspect of the job, and I've become pretty close friends with the gentleman. So it's nice to take the training and stay on top of everything. I recommend to any young guys coming out of high school now and want to get into this job right away, I do really harp on maybe some business courses in post-secondary education. I spent a lot of time on Excel, and learning like Excel itself. It's an own animal, and it's nice to know the in-depth functions it can do, because it can make your life a lot easier. Traits that'll make you excel at the job: attention to detail and hard work ethic are your #2 things you need to do. And I can't stress attention to detail enough. That's everything in this job is just all detail. So if you really check through your list and make sure everything is always done when asked, you will do well. Personality is best suited, organized, #1. Need to be a people person. definitely. You work with all sorts of different kind of people, from coaches, management, players. And the players, you're dealing with 25 different personalities each day too. So you have to have a laid back personality with everybody. You need to be willing to go above and beyond for everybody. But you also need to go stand up for yourself and your organization if anybody's trying to abuse you as far as taking advantage of trying to use too much of everything. Like, you need to make sure that you have everybody's best interests, whether it's the organization, your equipment budget, players, all the above. Everybody needs to be treated well, and as well as yourself. This is just a picture of the game rink in downtown Winnipeg, the Canada Life Center, from the outside. This is a view from the players' bench. This is where myself and two assistants stand during the game, along with all the players, coaches, and athletic therapists. This is our dressing room set up for a game. We got the game jerseys hung, and this is before the players arrive at the game. This is just leading to the ice. This is where the guys taped up sticks are for the game. This is walking into our players' lounge. So as they walk in from the parkade, they come in here, and the first picture on the left is where they have to get out of their street clothes and into their base layer underwear and workout gear. And on the right is the players' lounge, where they get fed breakfast, lunch, pregame meal, snack, postgame meal. Never a shortage of food here in the National Hockey League. Just another picture of the meal room here. This is the gym. Just wanted to show you all aspects of the dressing room here. This is the video theater. So, for example, this is one room where I was a project manager on. I had to facilitate the whole project with the contractors, getting walls moved, ordering these seats, custom seats, flooring, painting. All of that had to be managed with contractors. This is a hydrotherapy unit out at our practice rink. So it's got the underwater treadmill for rehab, and then in-ground hot and cold tubs for treatments. This is a sample of our skate profiler. So what the profile is, it's anytime you get new steel, each player has their own specific profile. That way their blades feel exactly the same anytime they get new steel. So you just see it here working back and forth. And all it's doing is following the template to the player's specific profile. And that's us adjusting the pressure as the steel starting to get worn off. You increase the pressure again, so that you continue increasing the pressure until you hit your two steel points on the profile. This is just Mark and I sharpening skates out at the practice rink. This is our 3-head sharpener that we do all our finishing work on. In the back, you can see a Sparks unit. That's a commercial and retail sharpener. We just use it to get the nicks out of the skates, and then we finish them off on the big machine by hand. This is an example of Mark removing the holder on the skate. It's got a broken holder, or need to change the style of holder that is on it. So we're replacing the holders here as they get soft over time, and reinstalling a new pair. Quick video here. Yeah, he's just removing the copper right now in the heel, and then on the right is a picture with the holder off the boot. This is Robert sewing a strap through a shin pad here. As you can see, this is a pretty heavy duty sewing machine that can go right through that thick plastic of a shin pad. On the left is actually a food steamer that they use in restaurants, but we use it for I got the idea from sports store I worked at in Saskatoon for breaking in baseball gloves. We use it for the players for their hockey gloves and skates. So they like to get them softer before they use them. It helps the break-in process of new products. On the right is our 3 big glove dryers. That's if you're ever watching a game on TV and you see the players throwing gloves at the staff, they're not throwing them at us just for the fun of it. Actually, we take them and put them on their spots on the glove dryer so they get dried between periods. On the left here, this is one of our storage rooms at the game rink downtown. This is all our new jersey inventory and backup jerseys. And on the right is all our players' specific bins for their new gloves. This is stick inventory. Each player I like to keep between 18 and 24 new sticks on hand. Now with since COVID, shipping timelines are always longer, production time is longer, so we have to keep minimum 18 on shelf per player. Equipment staff here, left to right is Ashton, who works game nights. Mark Rehan's my assistant, myself, Robert Cook, my assistant, and Sam Jarin is the visiting room attendant / Winnipeg Jets assistant. Rewards of the occupation. Working in team atmosphere. Not all of us are even close to good enough to play in this league. There are other opportunities to work in this league and be in the team atmosphere. Competitive environment. Again, we all want to win hockey games, whether you're sharpening skates, ordering equipment, or playing on the ice. Coming to the rink, loving your job most days. I say that because every day's have its challenges. Every job has their challenges. Not every day's perfect, but overall, you love what you do. Opportunity to win a Stanley Cup. Not everybody is fortunate enough to in this business, but you work hard and hope one day your team does well and does come on top one year. I get to travel all over North America and potentially overseas to work international events. I've worked 2 international events in my life. Once World Hockey Championships with Team Canada in 2014 in Belarus. Not a country you typically visit on a holiday, so pretty cool to see parts of the world you typically wouldn't. Second opportunity was with Team Europe at the World Cup of Hockey. That was in Toronto, but it was neat to work with, again, different players who from around the league they normally don't work with every day. Challenges of the occupation. It is a high pressure environment. Something's broken during the game. The coaches aren't looking at you with patience to get the player back on the ice. Let's get it back now because we need that player on the ice. That's our job, is to react to those high pressure environments and get the problem solved as quickly as humanly possible. Long hours, especially working homestands every night. Every night there's a game day. You're not at home. You're not with your wife or family. When you're on the road, you're not with your wife and family. So you have to prioritize a good home work life balance to make sure you spend as much time with your family as you can when you are at home around a job. Lots of travel, as mentioned, tough on family and personal life. But again, you got to have an understanding partner and family that understands what you do. Salary and benefits. Head equipment managers make approximate range, depends where you live. Like LA, New York, San Jose, Toronto, some of those cities are going to pay more because the cost of living is substantially higher than Columbus, Winnipeg, Minnesota, smaller cities. 100 to 225,000 approximately. Assistants make between 50 and 100,000, and again, it goes up with tenure as well. But I'm never going to make as much as a guy in LA because of cost of living. But that's just what I think accurate around the whole working industry. Good benefits, health, disability, life insurance, very good pension program as well. Holidays, it's dependent on off-season demands. I'm typically 4 to 5 weeks. Our assistants get a little more time, but there's a lot of summer rental projects going on. My time may be short over that summer as well. Christmas, we get 3 to 4 days. All-Star break, 3 to 5 days. Typical work hours, game day, we're 7:30 a.m. till midnight. Practice days, 8 a.m. to 3 or 4 p.m. Expect to only get 2 to 3 full days off per month during the season. It's a very demanding job. I mean, you look at these hours, it's not your 9 to 5 job, but when you love what you do, you don't notice the amount you're here. Requirements, I always recommend in high school to take as many classes as you can. Like, you don't need them, but it expands your horizon. It teaches you different skill sets as far as challenges, whether it's try to pass chemistry and you're not comfortable taking it. It teaches you things you wouldn't know, and it teaches you problem solving techniques. It's not applicable to like what I'm doing, but it teaches you the skill sets to work through all challenges. So I recommend taking your math, sciences. Woodworking, if you can, is great, because there are days, especially when you're coming up through the ranks in lower levels, like if you start out at Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, you might have to fix something or build. I've built shells before in the Western Hockey League. Like, to any skill set you can to help you excel. If there's excels training in high school now, I don't know. Sewing classes. People laugh at guys taking sewing. We took it in school, and it's actually quite it would benefit me just for sewing up holes in socks and jerseys and that. So a skill that came in useful. You never know what you take that can help you down the road. Post-secondary education, again, anything with accounting, Excel, some sort of business degree. It's going to teach you all those computer skills that are going to help you. 2, it gives you something to fall back on. Like, I've been very fortunate to get to where I am and as quickly as I have over the years, but may not work out for everybody, and it's good to have a background to fall back on. As far as getting extra training, start with volunteering with a junior A team in the SJHL or Western Hockey League. Teams are always looking for somebody to help, and find yourself a good mentor, and the experience is invaluable. How did I get to this point? So I did in grade 12 a work internship with Saskatoon Blades 1 day a week. And that's where I kind of met my first mentor, Steve Hildebrand, who was a trainer at the time. He took me under his wing to teach me all about the job. My initial plan was to get into physiotherapy and take the athletic therapy route into this business. But with my internship with the Blades, I learned that the equipment management was what I preferred. So I switched that route, got a job at Al Anderson Source of Sports in Saskatoon for 2 years while working with the Blades. And from there, I gained experience and acquaintances to get a job in La Ronge, where so the trainer, Steve Hildebrand with the Blades, used to work with Larry Wintoniak with the back when Flin Flon, as he was the coach. So there's a connection right away. Larry needed a new equipment guy for his team in La Ronge, and my name came up. So you can establish these relationships and you can start moving up the ranks. In the SJHL, I was the first responder as well. It's not my forte by any stretch. Did enough to be able to get through the job on the therapy side. I could do like minor massaging, injury assessment, taping, and I'd taken a first responders course. If something happened on the ice, I would be able to be first on scene. Again, not my strong suit. If this is a situation you find yourself in, if you're going after the equipment field and you do have to do both jobs, rely on your team doctors, your team physio, your chiropractors. They're the ones who are educated. They know what the job entails, and they can help you through it. You're not the expert there. You're just the man on site to help the players get back on the ice with all the professional guidance behind you. So from there on, I moved on to the Lethbridge Hurricanes, the Western Hockey League, as the assistant equipment manager. From there, I was 1 year there. I moved on to the Vancouver Giants as the head equipment manager, Western Hockey League again. Was fortunate enough to where the team won the Memorial Cup in 2007. From there, I moved on to the Manitoba Moose of the American Hockey League. Spent 3 seasons with them as the head equipment manager. From there, I moved on to the Los Angeles Kings as the assistant equipment manager for 1 season. And then 2011, when the Jets were announced as a team, to present, I have been the head equipment manager with the Jets. Again, international experience, Team Canada with World Championships 2014 and Team Europe, the World Cup in 2016. Opportunities. Getting started out of high school is essential. Pay is minimum to start, I think. And I mean, I know wages have changed dramatically since I got into this, but I was making $1,200 a month in L'Orange when I started, and I had a billet covered. So you don't make a lot. I kind of looked at it as my university to get me started, as in that was me gaining experience to move up the ranks. And as you move up the levels, pay do increase. Chances for advancement. If you show dedication to your teams, leadership skills, organization skills, you have a good skill set of the knowledge as you move up, you can move up the ranks quickly. One thing I just wanted to note, there are more minor pro and junior teams in the USA than there is in Canada. At that level, it's hard to get a work visa to go down. It's easier as like when I went to LA, they had no problem giving me a work visa, but if you're working East Coast or the USHL, they're less likely to give you a work visa. So you need to keep this in mind and focus on a Canadian path to start. There is a major shortage of good young equipment managers. So I'm always asking around who's out there and trying to keep an eye on who you can kind of start to mold and bring in under your team's wing, to say, like, start to bring them to dev camps and development camps and stuff like that. So you start to get to know some of the younger equipment managers, because guys are always moving on, and you're looking for good young guys who want to take the opportunity. Related occupations within this field: athletic therapy, massage therapy, strength and conditioning. The training staff kind of consists of the athletic therapists, massage therapists, strength and conditioning trainers, and equipment staff. The best crews in the NHL are the ones where the whole training staff works together. No individualism between the professions. Everybody gets along as one unit, because we're all here for the same goal, and that's to take care of the players' needs on and off the ice. And back to you, Kevin.
There I am. Yes. Well, that's awesome, Jason. I wrote down a number of questions here, and I'll just throw some out at you. Just as a curiosity, like the blade sharpening, how often do you sharpen a player's blades? Or I suppose it varies from player to player, but what's in a game, like in game time, what are they? Is that done between periods or after the game, or when?
We sharpen everybody before morning skate. Then they go out, have their morning skate in the morning. Then we check them after morning skate. If anybody collided blades or stepped on a stick or whatever, we'll touch those skates up. And then during the game, the blades come right out of the holder now by a trigger. It's not like the old days where you're under the microscope anytime a player needed a skate sharpened, because the player had to untie his skate, had to run back, sharpen it. Player had to tie his skate back up, adjust his socks, tape. Always you lost the player for 2 to 3 minutes. Where now we can switch a guy's steel in 15 to 20 seconds.
So you have another
So-
set of blades. Right?
We have 3 to 4 sets per player ready to go.
Okay.
Some games we don't touch a guy during a game. Other times we'll change them 2 to 3 times, just depending on the style of games being played, how much physicality that player's had with, and not even physicality. I mean, the rougher the game and more physicality is more likely you're going to collide blades with another player.
Yeah. And you touched on the pressure during games, like you see some, like, I mean, again, like I said, I watch a lot of hockey. You see some sticks at the bench, and so is there one of your equipment guys is a stick guy? Is he in charge of like kind of knowing how those sticks are laid out, and this guy broke a stick, I got to get it ready, or how's that work?
Yeah, so during the game, I'm usually on the sticks, and then Robert, he is with me on the sticks. But if a skate needs to be done during the game, he'll go back and do that. After we switch the pair out, he'll sharpen those. I stay by the sticks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's always interesting. And then again, same thing, changing the blades, how quickly it does happen. I'm impressed. So the visiting team, you showed us your facilities. So I never even thought of this before, but the visiting team, is their facilities similar in the rink, like in your home rink? Like they have
Much smaller. Yep, they are not. They're much smaller, not as homey, not as warm feeling, but still very nice facilities around the league on the visiting side.
They've got the same kind of skates, sharpening equipment there, and
we travel with portable sharpeners on the road.
Oh, I see. So you do take your own stuff with you that way when you're on the road.
There's standardization lists that you have to follow, so like you don't have to travel with the glove dryers or the riveters or tools, like all that's supplied.
That has to be provided, yeah, for visiting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talked about, I always again, you never think of some of these things till you see a presentation like yourself. Like, so you order all the equipment and whatnot. So is it kind of team branded? Like, so we're all getting the same shin pads, or are some players, no, I want to have Bauer and the other guy wants, I don't know even what brands are out there anymore, wants CCM, or how's it work?
At the NHL level, it's wide open. They can use whatever they want. I carry what I feel is the most streamlined and the most protective equipment for shoulders, shins, and elbows that will cover our players' needs. If a guy comes to us and he has a specific model he wants, if it has enough protection value, in my opinion, I'll order it. And if it doesn't, I mean, he can still use it, but I try to keep the players as protected as possible.
Yeah. And of course, I think the sticks, the guys look after themselves. You get the sticks, and then they make them, they tape them the way they like them and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, the days of heating up the blades and curving them or sawing off areas, that doesn't really happen anymore because they're all done on a mold.
Yeah.
Made of carbon fiber and done in a mold. So they all come pretty darn consistent now. So now they basically just need to tape them up, cut them down, tape them up, and away they go.
Yeah. So that when you say budget, so does the Winnipeg Jets say, here's your equipment budget for the year, or is it completely like dependent on what the players' needs are, or how's that work?
I forecast a budget every year.
Yeah.
Every April I have to forecast the budget for the following fiscal year.
Yeah. And
that's going off of experience of what our players are going to go through. Our players get what they need here. There's no shortcuts in what the players need, but it's my job just to keep the spending grounded.
Yeah. So it's not out of control. Okay.
Exactly.
So I found it interesting that you volunteered, and you mentioned volunteering. So I'm going to go back to the one thing you said. You were going in grade 12. You went one day a week to the Blades, was it?
Yes.
So was that the career work experience class? Like that was a class?
Exactly.
Okay, that's That's glad. I'm glad that you've mentioned that, because when kids or students see this, I want them to realize that'd be a great starting point. I never even really realized that was a possibility. And I was a career counselor myself for years, and I didn't realize that there was anybody doing something like that. So that's awesome. That's incredible that you did that as part of a class. That's kind of where you started. That's good.
No,
So
it's a great program. That great work experience.
yeah, no, that's good. And we have a lot of our students in Sunwest and around the province are involved in that program. So it's an interesting. And I think you highlight, this is more of a question. This is more of a statement, like the value of networking. I mean, that's kind of sounds like that's kind of how you worked your way up the ranks a bit, got to know some guys from your experiences, and one thing led to another.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that works so good in so many fields of work. So I don't think I have any more questions, Jason. That's awesome. That's excellent. Gave us some great insight into this really interesting field that not everybody gets an insight into. So so thank you very, very much.
My pleasure, Kevin. Thanks again for having me, and take care.
And good luck in tonight's game.